Welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking through what I read for the month of May. So, kind of foreshadowed, I think, last TBR that I did for the month of May that I wasn't going to be reading a lot this month, mostly because it was my birthday month and there was just a lot I wanted to do. Another shutdown happened, which is very unfortunate, and somehow still I didn't get like a ton of reading done. So let's go through what I read. So the first thing that I read was Empire of Storms, which is the fifth book in the Throne of Glass series. I have it, it's just up there, which I can't reach without assistance. So I rated that one 4 out of 5 stars. It was definitely my favorite book of the series. It's a lot of things escalated, a lot of characters that had been doing different things throughout our storyline. Finally, their storylines converged, and it was really fun to finally see everybody together for what felt like the first time in a very, very long time. Next, I reread Kingdom of Flesh and Fire and also the third book, Gilded Flames, maybe. I could be making that up. I re-rated this 3.5 out of 5 stars, and same for the third book. I had a lot of fun with them. If you're not sure what this is about, these are book 2 and 3. The third book is being passed around with my girlfriends right now, of Blood and Ash series. So the third one came out this month. I opened it. The interesting thing about these books is that they all happen. So we're on book 3 now, and it's been maybe like a month or two since the beginning of book 1. Like, they all happen in a very, very short amount of time. Book 2 picks up right from where book 1 left off, and the same theme for the third installment. So when I picked up book 3 this month, kind of forgot exactly where we left off in book 2 and realized I had to reread like the last little bit. And then I just decided it's such a quick read, I would just reread the whole thing, and then picked up book 3 right afterwards. So, and in what is the weirdest tonal change I think to ever happen in my reading, I then read the poetry collection of Emily Dickinson. I don't really have much to say about it. It was great. I rated it 4.5 out of 5 stars and did like a lot of highlighting and dog-earing of favorites that I want to go back and read and just keep looking at from time and time again. And then after reading Dickinson, I found I was in a very classical mood, which I'm still kind of in right now, and I then picked up The Beautiful and the Damned by F. Scott Fitzgerald. This story centers around a young couple. The woman, again, and just like in many Fitzgerald's work, was the more interesting of the duo, in my opinion. The male character kind of being an observer, while the female character really is holding this story together. And it is character work, or very character driven, about a young couple that gets married, is very frivolous with money and their time and their youth and their friendships, and sort of, it felt like a satirical look in the upper class of this time. So I had a lot of fun with it. The only complaint I have is I didn't really like the ending, but I also know why he did it and the point that was happening. But really enjoyed this one. Next, I read The People You Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. This is the author that wrote Beach Reads that I read earlier this year. I rated this 3 out of 5 stars. It was fine. I definitely liked Beach Read a little bit better. I just thought the characters were more interesting in that one, and the love story a little bit more endearing to me. But this one was just fun. It was just an easy read. I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. I would recommend it to a lot of my girlfriends I know that quite like contemporary fiction with like light romance, and that's definitely what I would qualify this as. So this is a romance based on 2 characters that have been friends for a long time. Once a year they take a vacation together, and at one point they kind of get into that gray area between friendship and romance, and after that there is a stint of time in which they're not taking vacations anymore, and we jump back into the story where they have been separated for a couple of years and their friendship is ruined and they're trying to reconnect it. pick up the pieces back together after a night of romance. Then I read The Shadow of the Gods, which I rated 4 out of 5 stars. This is a Norse-inspired fantasy. I read this as an ARC and an early review, had a lot of fun with it. I have 2 dedicated reviews on this channel, so I won't go into it too much, but to say that I had a lot of fun and I go more in depth with these thoughts in those videos. I rated this 4 out of 5 stars. Then I read The Northern Spy, which I don't have with me because it was actually borrowed from a friend by something Barry O'Flynn, something like that. I had a lot of fun with this one. It centers around a woman who lives in Ireland and finds out her sister was involved with an IRA bombing, and then the story kind of unravels from there. As she is aware that her sister isn't part of the IRA, she's more trying to figure out what's going on and clearing her sister's name. My favorite of the month was The King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. This is the first installment in her new series that follows Nikolai after the events of Shadow and Bone. I really enjoyed this. This one I had an interesting time with though. So I rated it 3.5 out of 5 stars. The reason I enjoyed it so much was I was really struggling to get through this. I read about 60 pages and then wasn't having the easiest time picking it back up until a friend told me to read it as if it's a prequel to The Rules of Wolves down there and just stop waiting for stuff to happen and more just experience the world building in it. And once I did that, I had a lot of fun with it. The ending left me gobsmacked. I couldn't believe where we were, and I am so excited to pick up book 2 in the month of June. So that is it for today. Like I said, a very, very short reading month. I started a couple of other books, but I'm gonna actually touch on those in my June TBR to catch you guys up. I have a couple of bigger books that I have started, but the first one, obviously, I am gonna touch on, I'll just grab the sleeve, is I did finally start Rhythm of War this month. So technically, I guess I did finish my Oathbringer reread, but at this point, it just seems silly to keep talking about Sanderson unless it's a new venture. So I did start my Rhythm of War reading this month for my birthday weekend, and let me just say I'm having a great time with it thus far. So that is it for today's video. I hope you had a great time going over these books with me. I sure did. Love talking about it, and I will see you guys in my next video.